Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra Unit 10.2 Notes. Today we are continuing our discussion on linear regression. Now, we've already done problem number 1, so let's go ahead and move down to problem number 2. So, problem number 2 says the table shows the hours of TV watched by 10 students in 1 week and their scores on a math quiz at the end of the same week. And it says to round to the nearest hundredth if necessary. A. Use your graphing calculator to create a scatter plot graph or scatter plot of the data set. Describe the correlation between the two variables. So we need to have our TI-84s in front of us. This will also work on a TI-83, and if you have questions on that, please come see Ms. Carranza or myself. So in here, I've got my worksheet in front of me too. And the other thing that we need are the directions on what to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is make sure that my graph is set up, or my tables are set up right. So I'm going to hit the second y equals and then enter. So second y equals and then enter. Okay, and I'm making sure that these same things are highlighted in the pink over here. Okay, so I've got plot 1, it's on, it's on scatter graph, or scatter plot. The point's correct, and I'm good to go. So if I want to get out of this screen, the way that I do that is I'm going to hit second mode, and that quits any screen that I'm on. All right, so the next thing I'm going to have to do is start typing in all of my information. Okay, to do that, I'm going to hit the stat button and enter. And I still have all of the same information as I had in my last problem. So I'm going to hit up, clear, enter. Don't hit delete. Okay, if you're going to do delete, you're going to have to delete each one individually, and that's kind of a pain in the butt. So just go up, hit clear, enter, everything's done. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put in all of this information. And you guys can do the same, except you don't have to watch me do it. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video and type in all the information yourself. Okay, so there's all of the points. And I like to go through just to double check. We got 19 and 10, 8 and 25, 31, 11, 20, 18, 12, 22, 14, 20, 28, 10, 10, 20, 17, 16, and 18, 24. Okay, so now that we've got all the points in, let's look at step 3. We're going to need to set the min, x-min, y-min, the y-scales, the maxes. So to do that, we're going back to the TI-83, and we're going to hit window, which is on the top screen. Now, our x-min, our x-scale, our y-min, and our y-scale, those all stay zeros. Okay, so we're not going to mess with those. For the x-max, what we're going to do is we're going to come back to this. And what's the max, the highest number for x? I think it's 31. So I want to go just a couple higher than that. So instead of 31, I'm going to make it 35. Okay? And now let's look at the y max. The highest number I see is 25. So I want to go a little bit higher than that. I'm going to go to 30. I'm going to go down here, and I'm just going to click 30. All right, let's see what happens when we graph this now. And that's what yours should look like too. So now we can start answering the questions. What do you think? Is this positive or negative? The general trend. Well, the general trend is negative. Do you think it's moderate or weak? I think the points are getting farther and farther apart, so I don't think it, for one, it's not positive, or it's, sorry, strong, or perfect. And I don't know if I'd say moderate either. I'd say that this is weak, okay? So somewhere in, remember, you have to write a sentence. You need to state that this is negative, okay? It's negative and it's also weak. All right, B says to use your graphing calculator to find the equation of the line best fit. Okay, so to find the line best fit, we're going to come down here and we're going to follow these steps, okay? So I'm looking at it on my separate sheet of paper. I'm going to hit Stat. I'm going to switch over to Calc, which is up on the top, and I'm going to go down to line reg, AX plus B. Okay, and then I'm going to go down to calculate, just hit enter. And there's my equation. And this is where we have to round to the nearest hundredth, okay, the second decimal for both of these, okay? So you guys have your calculator in front of you. I'm just going to go ahead and write the equation. It's going to be y equals negative 0.60x plus 28.30. That's because of rounding, okay? And now I can come back in and graph this line. So it's negative 0.60x plus 28.30. And when we graph it, there's our line of best fit. And you can see how the points are farther away than the line, so it is weak. All right. C, use your equation from part B. Predict the quiz score of a student who watches 16 hours of TV. Well, before I do that, what's our X and what's our Y? I forgot. So X is the hours and Y are the quiz scores. So this is telling us that X is 16 and we have to find Y. So we're going to use our equation that we just found, the 0.60. We're going to plug in for X and we're going to add 28.30. Okay, so plug in 16 and solve. And guess what? We can do the same thing on our calculator too. I want to get out of that screen, so I'm going to quit. I'm going to plug in for X, negative 0.60 times 16, and I'm going to add 28.30. And we get 18.7. So their score on that quiz was an 18.7. Now, hopefully that's not percent, because if that's percent, ugh, ay caramba, not very good. All right, let's look at D. It says use the equation from part B. So once again, we're going back to that equation, saying how many hours of TV did a student watch if their quiz score was 4.3? So they didn't tell us X, that's what we're trying to find, but they told us the score was 4.3. So that's our Y, so 4.3 equals negative 0.60x plus 28.30. Okay, and we would solve this using SADMAP, which means I've got to subtract the 28.30 to the other side. That cancels. So we've got 4.3 minus 28.30, and that gives us negative 24. So we've got negative 24 equals negative 0.60x. And guys, you should definitely know how to do this stuff by now, okay? So when I divide this by negative 0.60, we get 40. Oh my gosh, who watches 40 hours of TV a week? Hopefully you don't, because that's insane. That's like a full-time job of watching TV nonstop. Oh. Anyways, there we go. Now, your homework was the 10.2 practice or 10.2 practice B, depending on what day you're watching this, okay? There are extra examples here that you need to go through and do on your own. Come see Ms. Carranza or myself to get those answers, okay? So this is Mr. Grice signing off for Algebra, Unit 10.2 Notes, problem number 2. Thanks for watching.